Hey YouTubers, Spot here. My No Auditions website is now an online store for selling recordings, photographs, merch, or whatever rises from my personal archives. You may have seen the first video about the Kamikaze Refrigerators album, but the original vinyl version is now available. I know how vinyl junkies will question the worth of an unfamiliar title, but I'm not sure if anyone's done a video dealing with authenticity and collectibility factors of LPs. So, this might be fun and informative. The title is Happy Thoughts by Kamikaze Refrigerators on the Unseen Hand label, catalog number UHT727-2. This is not a reissue. This is the unopened 1987 release, still in its original shrink wrap. Unseen Hand was a different label brand of No Auditions. This was recorded at Music Lane in Austin and mastered by John Golden at KDisc in Hollywood. There's the old No Auditions copyright and mailing address, and above that, the liner notes. I've always been big on liner notes, loved reading them, and wish more record companies did this. Frank Kozik did the cover and center label art. There's some of his art up top, and the names of band members and song titles. Jeff Tartikoff was Daniel Johnston's manager in those days, and he gave me some good info on independent record releases. This shiny one is the unchanged album fresh out of Rainbo 30 years ago, and now you get to see my old user copy. All covers were printed on what was called back of board, which is the matte side of the standard gloss finish stock. It looked as good as the unopened copies until years of living in back room and basement storage contributed the blemishes, you see. But everything inside is in prime condition. There's the side 1 center label and the side 2 center label. But the main thing we want to see is the official catalog number. Those numbers are inscribed in the runout of the master lacquers after the grooves are cut. The thinly etched number you see above it is the stamper number, which identifies all the parts that the processing plant deals with or creates. You see, it's a 3-operation system: mastering, processing, pressing. When mastered lacquers leave the mastering lab, they go immediately to a processing lab that electroplates the lacquers into metal stampers that then go to the pressing plant where, voila, globs of polyvinyl chloride are pressed into good old licorice pizzas. There's a lot more detail to vinyl manufacturing, but that would need to be a different video. For now, you should get the basic idea. And notice that, back in the day, we were very cheap. We had to get good quality being cheap. And aside from the fact that I've always loved black and white graphics and photography, black and white was the cheapest way to go to print record covers or center labels, bar none. There's the one-sided lyric sheet, one of the cheap things about it. The band put this together. The art, I think a lot of it was, cut and paste style and, made in the cheapest way possible, as you can see. But what really seals the deal on this are the ordering and shipping invoices from the Rainbo pressing plant. I put in an order for 2 different titles, Kamikaze's Happy Thoughts and my own album, Artless Entanglements. A few years ago when I offered Happy Thoughts as a CD baby and iTunes download, I thought the pressing was only 1,000 copies. It was more like 1,200 copies. The order was made February 27, 1987, and the first distributor shipments were sent from the factory on March 9th and 11th. Second invoice looks like different numbers, but really shows the breakdown of shipped versus unshipped copies. I was in LA for some family matters then, and personally loaded all the unshipped boxes into my old Ford van to drive back to Austin. It saved me a whole bunch of money, and regular gasoline was under $1 per gallon. An econo-action plan that no longer exists. But now the one thing that interests vinyl collectors is the world of legendary run-out messages that could be cryptic, foolish, funny, dull, intellectual, brilliant, or whatever. It all depends on who created them and how willing the mastering engineer was to deal with such malarkey, and frankly, most of them didn't want to mess with it. But John Golden at KDisc, man, he was always fun to work with because he'd pretty much inscribe whatever personal last word or take that entries I came up with. In this case, they were band member phrases. Side A was a lyric from a Big Boys song that I believe bassist David Fenster wrote. Ambivalence, I always jump the fence. And side B was something drummer Rich Malley always said, give me a call when you want to cut off my head. Don't ask what it means. It's just one of those things. And there you have it. All the evidence why the one and only Kamikaze Refrigerators album can be considered collectible. Less than 200 of these left. You can get one at the no audition store for a fairly decent price until they're gone.